Hi, how are ya?
This is the 2023 Shop Toe. So I'm doing this because the last time I did a shop tour, it's completely different than the way it is now, and it's about to change again. So we're doing a shop tour to give you reference. This shop is 10 foot wide by 19 foot long. So it's 190 square foot. I think I messed up my measurements in the last one, so we're going to redo it in this one. 10 foot wide, 120 foot long. 10 foot wide, 19 foot long. So this is just a configuration that works for me. It's a small shop, but I still can It's a small shop, but I still can pump out a lot of good custom furniture out of the small space. And this is, I've already said that. This is how it works from, let's just start. Let's get started. As soon as you walk in, shop apron. Now, I just have this dowel friction fit into the door frame, and it's actually pretty tight. That's where I hang my apron and my earmuffs. So on the wall, I have the remote for my dust collector and my air cleaner. Now, I put the remote for the dust collector on the wall because I kept bumping it around when I had it on my shop apron, and I kept knocking around, turning it on, turning it off when I needed it on. The list goes on, so I put it on the wall, and it works perfect. Before I turn on my table saw, turn on the dust collector, works great. I like nice tools. So the tracks for my Festool track saw. Joiner jig. Dado plate. Miter gauge, which is broke because I dropped it and the handle broke off. This is a miter gauge that was actually given to me by a gentleman in my area. I said that on the last shop tour. I forget about it, so I haven't really used it. This goes on that some kind of way. Table saw blades. Stop farting. That's disgusting. If you got to fart, go outside. Step ladder, broom, dustpan. For those wondering, no, I haven't fixed the window yet. On this wall, I have all of my lumber storage. Now, I think for any shop, it's important to have a small space where there is nothing. And I'm going to show you why. So if you see there's nothing here, there's no tools. This could be a joiner. No, stop it. This could be a bigger planer. I said stop it. Every shop should have an area that's empty. And this is why. Especially YouTubers, because you get all these mean comments. This happens every time you comment saying that I'm acting dumb, or I'm stupid, or I don't know what I'm doing, or there's no way I could do it that fast, or you are better than me. This is what happens. This is just a peek behind what actually happens in this shop. That's gonna work. I just want to help these people. Why? Mental health matters. So here I have my dust collector with the Lone Ranger. This is what transmits to the remote. It works good. It's just a dust collector. Now I did have this come in closer so you could see it. I have this jet. I said come in closer. Okay, so in the last shop tour, I talked about how disappointed I was in this chip extractor, thing. This canister, it has a chip blocker. It's a cyclone. So in the last video, I talked about how disappointed I was in this part of my dust collection. And then some subscriber that was smarter than me said, hi, I think I have that on backwards. I'm supposed to go the other way. And so I switched it around, and they were right. I had it on backwards the whole time, and it was doing a terrible job. Go figure. So I replied, and I said, oh, thank you. But this works great. It's very good. It keeps this bag from filling up super quickly. This holds a lot of dust. It stops a lot of chips. It works pretty good. So this is basically the majority of my dust collection, and I'll leave this hooked up to the table saw. So this is the Laguna Fusion 2 table saw. Now I did make some modifications to it. The dust collection, hold up. I took this out of the saw. This is the housing that goes right underneath the blade. I took it off because it did a terrible job at collecting dust. So since I've taken it off, the dust collection has gotten much better. You have to take the housing off. I'm not recommending everybody do this, but I did it and it works better. I took the housing off from the inside under there. This hooked up to this dust collection hose. I still need to figure out what I'm going to do to expand this port, because the inside of this is still a 2-inch connection, and it reduces in size way too quickly to account for the volume moving through. So a 4-inch dust collection hose does a terrible job when you do a quick reduction like that. You want to keep it at 4 inches to get the most out of your dust extraction. So I still have to figure that out. But other than that, it's a pretty good table saw. I did have some issues with it lately cutting construction grade pine, because that's what most beginners use for some freaking reason, and it got bogged down really easy really quickly. So I figured out what the issue was. My belt just needed to be adjusted. So I adjusted my belt and it works perfect. Had to tighten it down a little bit. It's a pretty good table saw. Would I buy it again? Probably not. But it does a decent job for what I'm doing. I don't think I have anything else to talk about with the Laguna Fusion 2 table saw. This is my wind air cleaner. I bought the industrial size air cleaner and it works pretty good. The only thing I would tell you is the air, the air filters are in metric. So when you go to get a new air filter from your local Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever you got, you will have a little bit of a size difference, because this obviously is in inches and it doesn't quite come out to metric system millimeters. I guess they like a more accurate, more simple measurement system. I don't know why, but if you get this, it will come in metric, so be mindful of that. It works pretty good. It cleans my air. This does get clogged up very quickly, so I do switch these filters out probably once a week, and they really collect a lot of dust. I'm impressed with it. This is the industrial size. Overkill for my small shop, but that's the way I like to do it. This is the front of it, in case you wanted to see it. I'll give you another second to look. Okay, that's enough looking at my air cleaner. This is my work table, and it's adjustable. And it does a really good job at adjusting. I like nice tools. So yes, I do have Festool, and I am proud of it. I love having good tools. They're really good, especially if you're doing a business. Does a beginner need Festool? If they can afford it. So this is a Festool dust extractor. It works very good with all things Festool. I have a Festool track saw. I'm not going to pull it out the case. And also, in here, this is just random hardware storage, mechanical tools that I don't use that much. Random bolts, nuts, stuff like that. And this is good for when I got to go to a customer's site to do an install or something like that, especially when I used to do built-ins. I would just throw my tools in there and throw it in the truck. Fits perfect under here. Ah, crap. So that's where I keep that. This is my tool wall. So these tools were actually given to me by a man in my area, like I said before, with the other miter gauge. I use these pretty often, but not that much. Drills, little brass hammer for adjusting the planer blades. Got some squares, headphones, Did I say squares? Yeah, more squares. Chisels, mallets, the king's mallet for royalty. That's for when I really got to either knock something out of place or knock something into place. It works every time. And random drill bits. Magnets work great for that. Pretty decent organization, pretty cheap. No need to get super fancy with your tool storage. I know a lot of people like to make holders for each little freaking thing. You don't have to do that. It's fun to do, but it gets aggravating after a while. So magnets work great for that. Up above me is all my stain storage finishes, stuff like that. That's just a board with pocket hole screws going into the studs. Nothing fancy, works just perfect. Do you want to see what's in my drawers? So the Festool cases, as nice as the tools are, the cases get aggravating on tools that you use all the time. So in here I have my sander, which I don't recommend buying. It really sucks. The dust collection is good, but I cannot get to the point where I don't get swirl marks using this sander. I can use my Makita sander, and I use it more than this one because I can get that one where I don't have swirl marks in the piece. No matter what I do with this, no matter what adjustment I make, I don't care what you comment below, this sander, this is not the Rotec, this is just a random orbital sander. This sander does a terrible job, in my opinion. Domino joiner on the other hand, perfect, love it. Next drawer. Rags, dominoes. I did a lot of getting rid of stuff. This is just random finishes that didn't fit on the top. These are planes that I haven't built holders for yet. This is a failed attempt at a tortilla press we did for a gift as a friend. I got to add a handle to it. So just junk, really. Down here, just more junk. I'm not very organized in my drawers. My drawers are very disorganized. This is actually just a shelf, no drawer. I ran out of drawer slides. Let's keep going that way. In here, I have my Craig jig, my Craig clamps, other Craig stuff, staple guns, and for some reason a hole saw with a piece of wood still stuck in it. Rags, Brillo pads, and gloves. This is usually pretty full, but I've been emptying it out a lot lately. Random stuff, templates for charcuterie boards, random fittings, stuff like that, just more junk. In this corner over here, hand saws, little flush cut saw. I got card scrapers that I haven't even put an edge on yet. I've had these for a couple years, just collecting dust. I really need to figure out how to use them. Just keep forgetting about them, really. And battery storage. These are just screwed onto the wall. There's no fancy battery charger station. Just screwed it on the wall and plugged the battery in, and it works great. And so if I remember, I will link these into the description. They do excellent for hardware storage. These are just makeup accessory holders. They work great for screws, stuff like that. I built a little shelf underneath here to hold my drill accoutrements. My Bible, little book to take random notes, sandpaper holder. I need to stock it back up. Up here, if you've been keeping up with my channel, you saw where I built this. So I keep my nail guns, router, jigsaw, router, sander, extra propane tank, sander, I think another sander, 2 dado stacks. One dado stack was gifted to me, the other dado stack I bought from Home Depot. So I love having these tools up here. I can reach up here, grab it very easily. Drill press. Don't use it a lot, but when I do need it, it comes in very handy. It's not a necessary tool, but it certainly is a luxury that is handy to have. And in the drawers, just did a little board with a backer and put some drill bits, random drill bits in there. And in this one, I have a little drum sander that hooks up to the, I have a spindle sander that hooks up to the drill press. Some other attachments for the, crap, that's outside. For the oscillating sander that I need to roll back in here. Over here, I've got router bits, Forstner bits, glues, some books that somebody gave me that I really need to read because it's good education. It's about carpentry. Paper towels, and up here I just have some a crap ton of cutting board finish, homemade cutting board finish, which is just beeswax and mineral oil melted together. Very simple to make. I'll actually do a video show you how to make it. You save a lot of money. You can make a lot of board butter and use it. So up here, yes, I have to use a step ladder every time. Some epoxy, because I did the bar top recently. Skill saw, worm drive, Makita hand saw, whatever you want to call it. Over here, grinders. There's some rags I've been looking for. I bought a whole box of rags, and I didn't even realize I had these up here. Now I can't even get them out. There we go. So up here, I've got my circle jig grinders and some extra drawer slides that didn't work out on another project. These are empty Festool cases. My attic from my house is on the other side, and the heat billows in here. And so I did put insulation to kind of block it, and I just use this for extra get it out the way / hopefully it'll help block the heat, but it hasn't helped block the heat yet. But it's been very hot. So that's just my empty Festool boxes up there. So, you can never have too many clamps. And I don't have enough. Everybody says it. You can't have too many clamps. You can't have too many clamps. Woodworking clamps. Screwdrivers, random Milwaukee handheld stuff. The only thing that I use out of these entire collection is just right-handed drill. This comes in handy a lot. The rest of it, not so much. Nut drivers, screwdrivers, random cutters, pliers, stuff like that. The miter saw. I have a love-hate relationship with the miter saw. I love it when I'm rough cutting stuff, but when I got a finish cut to do, I do not like the miter saw. It's not a necessary tool. It's one of those things, it's good if you have it, but you can't rely on it too much because it's not extremely accurate. I use my table saw for all of my finished cuts, as much as possible. So the miter saw is hooked up to a switch. The vacuum is underneath it, and I'll show you that setup here shortly. The vacuum runs up on the boom arm, comes back down to my miter saw, and that's so I could use this vacuum hose all around the shop. Highly recommend you put a boom arm in your shop. It's one of the things I use the most. So when I turn on my saw, oh, there it goes. It automatically turned the vacuum on. Comes in very handy. If you don't have one of those, I recommend getting that switch. It comes in very handy. It's not that expensive. It's like 10 or 20 bucks, I think. It's worth the small investment you have to make to get it. So this is just a simple setup. I've got a shop vac hooked up to a Dust Deputy bucket. I am not known for having organized drawers. This is just random stuff. Tapes, markers, extra tape measures. Doesn't work. Electrical stuff that I don't really use that often. Most stuff. I really need to get more organized with these drawers and cabinets. This, very good investment, but I forgot to clean it one day and I clogged up the line right here, so I need to get a new line for that. But this is very good, especially when you're doing stains or paints, specifically stains and poly finishes. The sprayer is very good. Trowels, dowels, my little dowel jig, the old tried and true nail guns. Nails. More junk. There's probably more junk in here. I really need to put faces on it. More junk. That's a magnet. When you're doing reclaimed wood, this will pick up and show you where the nails are. It's very loud. I'm not going to do that on camera. More junk. This is mainly just my brad nails, stuff like that. I really need to make something to get those out and organized. And that's, hey, you guessed it, more junk. This is my planer that's on a flip cart. It's a huge step down from the planer I had at my last shop, but I didn't have space for that planer. So I had to downgrade, and what a downgrade it was. I will be doing a review on this specific planer. If you're looking at it, give me a couple weeks. I will be doing a review on it, and it'll be very helpful in helping you make a decision on whether or not to buy it. Underneath the flip cart, I have an oscillating sander. Nothing fancy about it, just an oscillating sander you can get from Home Depot. The flip cart, I did a video on it for the plans from oh, that's a freaking wasp. Fix This, Build That. The plans from Fix This, Build That. Good plans, solid plans. The tool cart works great. I have flipped this over and over and over again. Solid plans. I like it. So, I think that's all my tools. So I hope you enjoyed the shop tour. As you can see, it's a very minimal setup. It's kind of like an intermediate. I'm not a professional. I don't have professional tools, but I have enough to get a business going. It's not a beginner setup either, which is what I want to talk to you about. I'm giving away, as I said before, I'm giving away a Domino joiner and the Ortor laser engraver and enclosure that I did a review on a couple videos ago. Send me an email, tell me about your business if you have need of a Domino joiner or the laser engraver, because I don't want to draw a name of somebody that already has a Domino joiner. I want to give it to somebody that doesn't have one. So I'm giving away my Domino joiner. I'm giving away the laser engraver. Send me an email. Make sure you are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, don't bother sending me an email telling me you want the Domino joiner, that you're doing a business, you're starting a woodworking business and you want to get better tools, you're trying to support your family, but you're not even subscribed to my channel. It's free. It's free. It's free for you to subscribe. And it helps me out. Go to my website. Check out the free plans. There's more free plans coming. They don't cost you nothing. They're not the best plans, but they're not the worst plans either. And like I said, the reason I did the shop tour now is because it's changed a lot since the last time I did it, and it's about to change drastically again. Some of you know about it because I've been talking to you, kind of testing my ideas, and then most of you like the ideas, some of you don't. But it's a good idea. It's going to work. And a lot of people are really going to enjoy what's coming up. Stay tuned to see who gets the Domino joiner, who gets the engraver. I'll do a community post to tell you who's going to get it. I'm not doing a drawing. I don't want it to be so random because I want it to go to somebody that's actually going to use it. So send me an email. Make sure you're subscribed. And I will do a post or a video and tell you who gets it. And I will send it to you. So, as sloppy as that was, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, go check out my website. There might be some links in the description below. Probably not, because I really need to get this video posted. I'm done talking.